Welcome to my channel. My name is Luna Affinity and I'm an energy reader and channeler. Sit back, get cozy, and get ready for some readings. Hello everyone. Amy, I feel like I'm gonna just be clear. I feel like that he has said this before to someone. I don't think it's a normal form of conversation. I don't think it's something that he does frequently, but I feel like it's happened once and he said it to someone. So I feel like I'm getting like mixed information here, but essentially like over the last week or over the last 2 weeks, he hasn't like been like, oh man, I really miss her. But I think that at some point over the course of you knowing him, he has said it. Okay, so I'm getting a yes for you, Nisha. I have 3 of Wands and Ace of Wands. I have a yes for Champagne Body, the Sun. You're welcome, Nisha. Make sure that you guys are posting the question that you actually want answered. Don't post and then delete because I go off of the first question that you asked. So just make sure that you're posting for sure the question that you want answered. Marquise, I think you have reason to like suspect something is off in your connection. I don't think that she's cheated, but I think she's tried to be committed, but there is something going on here like that might require you guys to reconnect, to steer the relationship back into a better place. Earth Angel, I have a yes. 6 of Pentacles. Amber, I'm getting a no. 5 of Pentacles. You could need to maybe get your affairs a little bit better in order. Maybe your finances. Something doesn't work out in May. Whoop. Daisha, I don't think pregnancy. No, I'm not getting that. Maybe some kind of like, maybe there has been a physical relationship, but I'm not getting pregnancy. Hi, Queen. So Queen, I am getting a yes. Ace of Pentacles. You're welcome, Champagne Body. AS. I don't think he knows for sure, but I think he suspects it. Judgment is basically where you're trying to make the determination on your own. You're trying to make a judgment on your own without all of the information. You're just making your best guess or best assumption. So I think that for the most part, he does think this, but he feels like he hasn't been given like actual proof or evidence to know for sure. Hi, Lauren. Lauren, I feel like a yes here. 4 of Wands and Queen of Pentacles. But the question was, does he want to or do they want to? Will they is a different question. Hey, Sienna, welcome in. Sienna, I have a yes. Knight of Swords. You're welcome, Lauren. You're welcome, Sienna. Svetlana. I'm gonna say I do think so, yes. Majority, I feel like yes. There is a little part of me that thinks that this person might be very focused on being right or wanting to be the right person in this situation. And they might kind of be like stewing in their own feelings for a little while. But I feel like ultimately, yes, they will. Haley, I'm getting a no. But because I know you've been looking for a job for a while, my recommendation is to always look at the reviews as well. If you haven't already done that, if that's not something you are aware of, that's something we always do. So just a little advice there if you didn't know about it. You're welcome, Svetlana. Alex. Yes, they're thinking about it. Oh, good, Haley. I'm glad you've been doing that. You're welcome, Haley. Okay, so Peter, I think that they're going to have a relationship for a long time. It might not always be romantic, but I think that they're going to always be connected. They're always going to be in each other's life. This could be due to a pregnancy, or like some type of shared financial situation. Maybe they're always connected because of marriage. Even if down the line they get separated, I still feel like there's this feeling of like they're always going to be connected in some way. So I think the relationship will last long, and I think that if at the bare minimum, even if it's not a romantic relationship that lasts long, I still think they're going to be in each other's life. You're welcome, Alex. All right, guys, so the free list is closed now. If you are new to me today, meaning you've never been here before and you are subscribing for the first time, you just found me, I will still honor free questions. It's a free yes, no. Just let me know you're new here. And we're moving on to donations. Amy, you can go ahead and post. You're welcome, Peter. Amy, I am getting a no. I also have a no at the bottom of the deck. 10 of Wands. He seems to be kind of just off in his own world, doing his own thing. I would love to do like a collab with a male reader. Yeah, you can, Amy. I would love to do an in-depth like or a collab with a male reader because I feel like they can give insight into the mind of someone who is the opposite sex, because I think I can only understand from my perspective, but my understanding is that men typically don't think about women as much. If they're in their masculine energy, they're not thinking about like a woman that they're dating or that they like. I think if they have like a huge crush on them, they probably think about them a lot more often. Or if they love their woman, then they naturally will think about them. But I think that if it's something very casual, if there's any men in here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that they're typically thinking about that person like all of the time. I think women do. I think if women really like someone, but that's because we're naturally very deep feeling energies. If we're tapped more into our feminine energy and just being a woman, we're typically more empathetic, more caring, more loving. We care more. I think that it takes a while for men to actually care about a woman in the way that we naturally might care about them right off the bat. I think if a man was in our body, we switched places, and they suddenly had to care as much as we naturally do, I think that it would drive them crazy. I don't think that that's their main mode or their main function, like on a very basic level. It's not where they default. They default to what am I doing next? Action, like enjoyment, fun, making money, providing. Like they're not over here. Like that's what makes us beautifully different. And I think that there's nothing wrong with it either way. But I think a lot of times that's why women can get wrapped up very easily in their feelings, because we project our wants and desires on someone who may not be where we're at mentally. What's your question, Amy? Yeah, I think it's just their default is not to, like, I mean, I've dated so many people that like I wasn't in a relationship with yet, and I highly doubt they ever thought about me as much as I thought about them. Like, I don't even know. I would bet that there were some men that I've dated that literally didn't think about me all day long. Like, I think that once the breakup happens, once they feel remorse or guilt, or if they ended up and they ended up loving you and then they were heartbroken, then yeah, I think they think about you more often. But I think really how often they think about you directly correlates with their feelings for you. So it's tough. Hey Gina, welcome in. Gina, I have a yes for you, the star. So, Amy, I think that he thinks about thinks and feels that your connection is getting stronger. Like every time he sees you, sorry, he feels like your relationship is getting stronger, like your bond, I guess you could say. He feels like, you know, you influence him in certain ways that are good and vice versa. He thinks about, I don't know, because the Eight of Wands in this reading, it's like a tornado is behind her and everything's flying all over the place. This kind of makes me feel like this person's doing magic, and they've, you know how like when someone like on a show that you're watching, like Charmed, or someone who has magic powers, they're not able to really control it very easily at first, like takes a while to learn. It's almost like training for something, and sometimes their magic can get blown out of proportion. Something bad could happen because they can't control it very well. That's kind of what this picture is reminding me of, is that it's like maybe his feelings are kind of spinning out of control. Maybe when he thinks about you, he feels like out of control. He feels like things might be happening that he's not ready for. He doesn't feel very calibrated. Like maybe his thoughts and his feelings are all over the place when it comes to you. Everything just feels kind of like very jumbled. And that next to the Seven of Cups is also feeling that way. So I feel like sometimes when he thinks about you, it's just, you know, like he could possibly feel maybe
So I feel like
sometimes that he's like getting ahead of himself. Maybe sometimes he feels like you guys are on the right track. Maybe sometimes he feels like he's failing you and um feeling as though he isn't measuring up as far as like communicating with you. No, I wouldn't say falling for you. I would say that he's because he doesn't know exactly where you guys stand. Um he just feels very messed up. Like he feels like he's just extremely confused about your connection. Like some days he's for it, some days he's not. Sometimes he feels like you guys are getting ahead of yourself or your feelings for him are like becoming more than maybe what his feelings are. But then other days he really likes hanging out with you and like spending time with you, and I think that he feels like he's spinning out of control, like because I feel like maybe he thinks to himself that he's giving you mixed messages or mixed what is it called, mixed feelings. Like he feels like, I don't know, he feels like he's spinning out of control or something like that. um let's see. Hey Day, thank you for donating. I'll be with you in just a minute. Whoa, what are you doing here? I think that right now, because like the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like chance, you know, it's kind of like when you flip a coin to make a decision. I just feel like he doesn't feel like day to day his mental state and view of you or feelings for you is very inconsistent. Like one day he wakes up and thinks, "Oh, we're really good friends." Then another day he wakes up and thinks, "I really want to see her." And then he's like, "Let's make plans." And then he sees you and he's like, "I love spending time with her." And then the next day he's like, "But I'm not ready for relationships. Maybe I should back off." And then the next day he's like, "I'm just going to like not even think about her and kind of go do my own thing." And then the next day he's like, "Man, I feel like a jerk because I haven't really responded to her. So I'm going to try to do better at responding to her today." And then the next day it's like, "Well, I know that I told her that I would see her. So maybe I should make plans to like get together with her. I'm going to think on that for a little bit." And the next day it's like, "Well, I really want to spend time with my mom today." Like I feel like every single day when he thinks about you, it's like something different. I feel like he thinks his feelings are just so up in the air. It's something different every single day that he's not grounded enough. Like, and maybe that's why you're feeling so confused about your connection too, because sometimes you feel really wanted by him. Sometimes you feel like maybe you're bothering him. Sometimes you feel like you guys are on the same page, and then sometimes you feel like you're not on the same page. And he just doesn't feel, he says, like, "I'm different day to day when it comes to her. Like, my thoughts and my feelings are different all the time." Lots of Nine of Pentacles energy here. So as far as his intentions go, I'm getting that I feel like he wants to remain single right now, Amy. He wants to keep his independence. So his mental state is to, it's not that he doesn't want to see you again or anything. That's not what I'm getting. But I feel like, you know, he's not here to make a commitment at this time. So you are probably thinking to yourself, like, why is he so inconsistent? Why do I feel like we're making progress and then suddenly we're not? And then you probably think to yourself, like, why is this like only up to him, because you probably feel like you're kind of like waiting for him to kind of catch up with you a little bit. And maybe when you spend time together, things feel great and fun. And then when you guys aren't together, he's not so good with communicating with you, which makes me feel like he's just still really upside down. Um, as far as intentions go, I think he's still keeping you at arm's length. He lets you in here and there, maybe mainly because he probably feels like he needs someone to talk to, and he knows that you're like really good at supporting him, hearing him out, making him feel validated. But as far as like letting him in to his heart and like actually falling in love with you, I think is a whole nother conversation. Amy, the future thing does have a big part of it. Yeah, it does. It does play a big part, but I think he just likes how things are with you guys right now. Also, like, I think that he's okay seeing you only sometimes. I think he's okay talking to you only sometimes. I think it makes him feel less pressure. It makes him feel more independent. Um, you know, I think that he is not opposed to the idea of a relationship, but I think that it's just not where he's at right now. Mm, Amy, I think that that comes with the territory. I do think that he's thought about that. I do. Um, you know, when he's trying to wrap his mind around like what does he want from this connection, he has to envision himself in all the different paths forward. So sometimes the thought is, what would it be like if we were in a relationship? How would that make me feel? What would she expect from me? What would I be able to give to her? How would that feel? Like, would that feel good? Would that feel comfortable? Would that feel exciting? Um, do I see that I can commit to her and be faithful? um you know, I think everyone, when they're deciding whether or not to enter a relationship, they think about that. I think also he thinks about just being in a relationship, period. He doesn't put your face there. He literally just says, am I ready for a relationship, period. Like, not just with Amy, but just like at all. Then he thinks to himself, well, what about if I stay single and don't enter a relationship? I think that that just comes with the territory of like dating someone. And I would say that he considers you guys to be dating. Exclusive commitment relationship? No. But I do think that he would say he's seeing you or he's dating you. Amy, you said, does he have romantic feelings for you? I think he does. Um, you know, to a certain extent. Okay, Amy, just whenever, if ever you get to the point where you want to donate, just go ahead and do your thing. Hey, Manor, welcome in. My free list is actually closed. You're welcome to donate if you'd like. Amy, I just saw your typo. That's funny. No, you're good. You're good. Hey, Em, welcome in. Yes, it has been a minute. I'm doing well. I hope you are too. All right, I updated the donation list in the chat, so if you guys are curious where you're at, you can just take a look there. If you want to pay to skip, feel free to do that. All right, this is for Day Oceane. Oh, so there is a masculine director. Okay, Day, remind me, but I feel like I was picking up on a male, I guess, authority figure at the school. Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, good. All right. Will she win the Great Appeal once this happens? Will she win the Great Appeal once this happens? Will she win the Great Appeal when this happens? She won the Great Appeal. Okay, girl. I don't know if you like are super familiar with tarot, but these 3 cards that have come out so far, there's a duality to all of them. And what I mean is there's a light side and a dark side, a shadow, an upright and reverse, so on and so forth. And this card, let me see if I can find it in another deck really quickly. Looks like this. Okay? Meaning that a decision has not been made, or you can't see the answer because they're blindfolded. See how she's like throwing the dart with blindfold on? She's trying to trust the process, but she's taking a shot in the dark, so to speak. Then with this card, it literally says this way or that way. And there's a duality here of being split, divided, and then this person is divided between 2 people. So there's such a duality in this reading right now that's making me feel like the decision has not been officially made. So I don't think that with confidence I can give you an answer right away. Let me pull the last card here. I do feel like intuitively this is going to work out in your favor. I do think it's going to pay off in the end. That is what Ten of Pentacles means. But as far as like, because this is still an ongoing process, it's like all of the parties have not been informed. So if I had to choose one or the other, I would say yes. You will win. This is going to pay off for you in the end, especially with the Ten of Pentacles there. I would say this process right now, though, is still up in the air. Queen of Swords makes me feel like this decision is going to fall on a woman, if I were to guess. Is the, hold on, let me see what you said. Campus administration. So this might fall on like a board. Is it a board that makes the decision? Yeah, no, a decision hasn't been made yet. I will know tomorrow after he gets back to me. I feel like, hey Lala, welcome in. I'll be right with you. My gut has basically throughout this process, I have not ever felt like this isn't going to work out for you. And I think with that feeling of peace, I think that I need to relate that to you, that I think this works out for you. I just feel like Spirit's having a hard time giving me a clear-cut answer right now, but if I'm just going to go with what I'm feeling, I think that you're going to be given another chance. And I do think that this is going to pay off for you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I've been trying to listen to my gut. What's your gut telling you? I'm curious what your gut is telling you. All right, Lala, I went ahead and answered your question. I hope that this is helpful. A mini reading for $5 will give some insight to your question. A $10 in-depth, we would be able to pull more details for you. So it's really up to you, but either of those options you can answer a question with. Or if it's like a yes/no question, like you specifically just want to know the answer to something, you can donate $3 and I just see what comes through. That I will win, but I'm nervous. That professor is so sneaky, though. That's what I'm getting. It's like the impossible is possible. Have to have faith. I definitely agree with that. But also keep to mind, people's colors eventually show up, and deception will never win. So they're always going to get caught. You know, they say it's just a matter of time, but someone's true colors are going to show. People are going to find out who they really are, or like the lie will come to light, that kind of thing. I think that take heart, because potentially this is the last straw. Maybe this is not the first time something like this has happened with that specific professor or teacher, whoever they are. And maybe this was just like the last thing that they needed to basically say, this has been too many complaints. Or maybe you're the first of many, and eventually they'll realize that this is an ongoing thing. Even if you feel like you're being singled out right now, this may not be the only situation that this has ever happened with. And so it's just a matter of time before, yeah. You're welcome. Absolutely. Good. I'm glad that that was confirmed for you. All right, I went ahead and posted in the chat the updated list so everyone knows where they are. Also, just something to keep in mind that there is an option to pay to skip. If that's something you want to do, it's not necessary. And if you can't hang around and you want to like head out and come back to your reading later, you can do that. As long as I have your question, you're free to leave. And if you want to just stick around until it's your turn, that also is okay. The pay to skip is specifically for people who are in a hurry and want to be present for their reading. Okay. SB, you're totally fine. Thank you for being so prompt. I appreciate you. Day, have a great rest of your night. It was good seeing you. Thank you for your donation. So Amy says, if donate $10, do you think we could do some sort of true messages from Eli? I don't know if you felt okay with doing like a small channeling. If not, that's okay. We can do regular in-depth. I gotta be honest, Amy, I don't think tonight is the night to get a channeled reading. I can definitely pull some channeled message cards for you if you'd like. But I feel like Eli, like your person is very kind of in a world of their own tonight. I think they're just kind of disconnecting. They're trying to kind of turn their brain off and just do something very mindlessly. I worry about the type of information that we'll get. I just don't think today is a good day to do that. We can definitely check back into the energy tomorrow or like next week or whatever. But I think right now you might not get much information. Okay, good. All right, so this is for SB. All right, SB, you donated for a 10 card love spread, a 5 card. Wait, I'm confused. SB said 10 card love spread for Jay. Okay, I understand that part. A 5 card for how would he treat me in a romantic connection. 2, 4, 5 Wazoo 5. SB, can you confirm or clarify what you're saying right there? I'm just confused. So we're doing a 10 card, a 5 card, and then what else are we doing, SB? SB, are you still in the chat? Hey, God's daughter, welcome in. God's daughter, our free list closed. Make sure that you get here early because that's when I do free readings for everyone. Amy, I got it. You'll be after Lala, okay? You're welcome. Amy, since you're kind of helping me moderate tonight, do you mind if you see SB, ask her what the 245 Wazoo 5 means? I'm a little bit confused about that part if you happen to see her. But let's go ahead and get, oh, hey SB. So I see your first question and I see your second question, and I know that we're doing more for you. I just wanted to ask you to clarify what 245 Wazoo 5 means. That's all. Okay, I thought that was a message for me and I was confused. So we are doing a 10 card and a 5 card so far, and then you'll give me the rest later, right? Okay. Well, all right, let's see. Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. So, okay. So, how they feel about you, SB, is I think that they're still weighing, I guess, their options. Two of Pentacles a lot of the times reminds me of like someone flipping a coin. which I made that reference earlier today too, which is interesting. But it kind of reminds me of like someone who's just like, I'm not really sure, it could go either way. And that's kind of like what they're feeling. But I think they're open, honestly. And I think there's also this element of needing to balance your connection maybe with like other things that consume their life or other things that take up their life. But I think they're sitting here saying, I'm open. I want to make sure that what she's giving to me, I'm giving to her, that it feels balanced. It doesn't feel like there's pressure. It really could go either way. I'm interested in like learning more, but at the same time, like I don't think he's quite like fully in it or fully invested, but I also don't think that he's pulling away. I think he's just kind of like, we'll see. As far as the Page of Cups here next to it, it's making me feel like he's enjoying the process. So the Page of Cups here in this picture is painting. They're creating something on a canvas. They kind of feel like you guys can make something very beautiful together, you know? For a metaphor, you guys make great art together. Like you bring something to the table that feels like it could turn into something really beautiful. But as far as their intentions go, is he just wants to enjoy the process. Kind of like when you're painting something, it could turn out super fucking ugly or it could turn out beautiful, and you're just adding strokes and colors and stuff to the canvas, and you're just like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm just going to enjoy the process, right? As far as what you want, I have the Ten of Swords. So let's tap into this really quickly. Hold on. I think you want to give this person a chance. I feel like Amy choked on her tea. At what part? So Ten of Swords, I feel like while you might feel like SB, you've given this person a chance and that person a chance, and you've opened up your heart here and there, and you're considering this person and that person and whatever it is, and I'm viewing like all of these swords in your back as like that all the times you've been disappointed by men or the people that you've been interested in. But you see this person still reaching. This person still has their heart open. They still want to try. Despite all of the disappointment, they still are like, I'm still here. I want to still reach out and see if maybe I can be saved or I can save myself, or i.e. have a relationship that's successful. You just never know. Like, unless you're an artist and you really know what you're doing, sometimes you might hate, I mean, even artists, I feel like they can hate their work and not think that it looks good in the end. So you just never know. I think that I feel like Jay wants something that he can tend to and nurture and give to in hopes that eventually he gets something out of it. I think that Jay has like somewhat of an internal desire to be gentle with something. I think that Jay wants love, and I think Jay is willing to put in the work that it requires to hopefully get something out of it. I think you guys potentially have like a lot of fun together. You enjoy one another. The sun here means that like you guys just really have a good time. Maybe you go with the flow. Oh, and the sun actually can talk about children or someone being younger than you, so that's interesting. But I feel like a strength is that you both are know. Maybe Jay's positive. Maybe in his like youth, I guess, like he has this sense of like childlike wonder or youthfulness. Like he still hasn't been jaded by the world. And even though you might have, you still have hope. And I think that that's something that you guys both can kind of hold on to. I'm also hearing like similar love languages for some reason. I think it's because these people are holding hands, and that's like physical affection, physical touch is a love language for some reason. That just like triggered that you guys might have similar love languages. Which could be considered a strength for you guys. Hold on 1 second for me. Yeah, I think you guys just kind of exude like a happy, positive, overall, joyful. There you go. He's so full of joy. Thank you. And then we have the what pulls you apart is the Hermit. So, trying to see how a hermit could be a weakness. Maybe because you guys are so willing to just go with the flow and have fun and enjoy yourself, it might be perceived as a weakness. That it's, how some relationships, they're like, okay, we have a lot of fun together, but we also know when to get serious. We also know when to have the serious conversations and get deep, like maybe there's like a weakness here because potentially it could be difficult to have depth in the relationship, or maybe alone time together. Maybe you guys are always wanting to have fun all the time and go out and do things. It's like you keep things very lighthearted. It might be both of you, neither of you like confrontation. I don't know. There's like this feeling of like, if things need to be talked about or sorted out or confronted, can you guys go there? Can you guys be serious and have that kind of conversation? It's just something to keep in mind. It is something you can work on, but that's the only thing I can think of that could be perceived as a weakness with the Hermit card. I think that you guys are pretty well suited for one another with the Ten of Cups, indicating the energy around the relationship is fun and flirty and happy. And the Ten of Cups indicate that you guys are really good at like getting along. You get on well, so that's why I feel like you guys are well suited for each other. There's not a lot of disagreements or arguments that I see happening. Now, does a disagreement or argument need to happen at some point down the line if you guys end up together? Yeah, absolutely. We can't just pretend like everything's butterfly and rainbows. Sometimes we do need to get to the heart of things, but I see you guys have the potential here, and actually like doing for like a long-term relationship. And the more I do tarot, you guys would think that the more I do tarot, the more spiritual I get, the more I believe in like the one, like, but I don't. The more I do tarot, the more I realize there's so many people out there that could be the one for you. Like, I used to believe in soulmates, and I do believe in soulmates, but I don't believe in the one soulmate. And so, especially reading for USB, I see like all these different potential paths for you with all of the people that you talk to, some stronger than others. But it makes me realize that like you can be happy with pretty much anyone so long as you're compatible with each other. And I do feel like this relationship would turn into like a lot of love for one another. I'm gonna clarify the Nine of Cups because I just don't really understand that one 100%. What's hidden? What's hidden? The Hermit and Ten of Swords. What's hidden? That's so weird. I clarified this card, the Ten of Cups, and I got this card and this card. Maybe I'm just being told, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe, like, don't. I guess maybe Spirit just wants you to know, to get to know someone better, before you just jump into something. Like, you know, keep dating, but not just like going on first dates. Like, be open to multiple dates with one person, and like before something happens, just really kind of get to know them on a deeper level. And Ace of Swords indicates victory. So as far as like, does the relationship have potential to be successful, I am getting a yes. I already felt that with this card here, but I got a double confirmation with the Ace of Swords. I agree. I used to believe in twin flames and the one and all that, but to me, that's being closed-minded. SB, I do agree with that for sure. I think that something tells me that twin flames are real, but I feel like people have it all wrong. That these people are supposed to just trigger you to being the best version of yourself. These people are supposed to like hold up a mirror to you and make you question everything around you, to remind you who you actually are, and that is a soul having a human experience. I think that twin flames are real, but I don't think they should have this romantic connotation the way that other people think. I think people think that twin flames is your other half, and I don't think that. I think most of the time you're not supposed to end up with your twin flame, and I think that some people who have a twin flame that they are physically together with, I don't think that's like the ultimate relationship, and I think they might also be confused as to whether or not this person is their twin flame and rather their soulmate. I don't think that's my hot take, but I don't think necessarily, not always, okay? But I think that I don't always I don't know, I just don't think you're always supposed to be with your twin flame. That's just me. That's just me personally. And I believe you can have multiple soulmates throughout your life. Yes, I gave out my number out a few times lately while out. I also feel better about myself. Good. That could be it, yeah. Amy says, I personally don't believe in twin flame because the things around it feel toxic. So I prefer calling people my bestie or close family. It's like I call our best friend group my soul family. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting seeing other people's point of view. SB, I'm shuffling for your second question now. I don't think there's anything wrong with desiring your twin flame either. Like, if you feel deep down like there's this weird feeling that you can't shake, and you've known someone for years and years, and you're like, I still think about them. Like, even if we're not in communication, I still think about them. And you don't really understand the connection. Not like you dated them and then you still think about them years later. I'm talking about someone who nothing ever happened between you guys, but you felt like this unexplained connection with them, and nothing ever happened, nothing ever developed, nothing came of it. But still, years later, you're kind of like, what the fuck was that though? Like, what was that? Like, nothing happened, but they made me question everything for a little while. And I still think about them from time to time, looking back going, what was that person to me? Like, why were they brought into my life for such a short amount of time? I think that those can be twin flames. But I think a karmic partner can also be confused as a twin flame, and that's toxic. 100%. I think karmic partners are toxic, but I think they're toxic on purpose. They're supposed to teach you how to stand on your own 2 feet, learn from things that you don't want in your life, make you stronger, and break cycles. Okay, so SB, how would Jay treat her in a romantic relationship? I see a lot of like freedom and liberation and impulsiveness, spontaneousness. I think you guys would get on really well because you guys would have a lot of fun. It would feel like little to no baggage. There's just something here. They're kind of like tossing their arms up in the air, letting go, feeling liberated. SB, I feel like in a relationship with this person, like there's nothing that you could do that they would like judge you for. I feel like they'd be open to random adventures, impulsive decisions. I think that if, like, for example, if you guys like get together and you have a fantasy that you want to play out, I think he'd be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. There would be like no kink shaming, there would be no judgment. I just feel like you guys would honestly have like a lot of fun together, you and this person, lots of laughing, lots of jokes. And from a standpoint of being in a relationship where you laugh like every single day, everything is hilarious, you have so many inside jokes that, like, for me, like at my wedding, it was a part of my friends and family speeches. Is like Amanda and Brennan live in their own world. Like you always hear them doing inside jokes, and like everyone else around them is so confused, but they have like limitless inside jokes. Like that kind of relationship I want to throw out there, SB. This type of person and this type of relationship that you could potentially have with this person is one that could last forever, because I feel like laughing and enjoying your time with someone is the key to a successful, long-lasting relationship. Again, with the reading that we had, I do feel like it's important that you guys are able to have serious talks and serious conversations and not just brush everything off to the side. Make sure that you guys, because that's something that you guys can adjust. Now that you may be aware of it, because I'm bringing it to your attention, it's something that you guys can work on for sure. But I feel like he would just have so much fun with you. He'd laugh, he'd joke, he'd dance with you in your kitchen. He'd say like, oh, you want to do this thing? Let's do it. He feels very much like a dreamer, and he's like, let's go do the things. And so, yeah, I feel like he would treat you with kindness. I think he would want your happiness to be a priority. And I feel like he would be a good time. You say the Sag, of course, I'll have fun. Yeah. Sagittariuses are pretty fun. But they have a hard time being serious, you know? Like, if you know a Sagittarius, you know that, like, all they want to do is entertain and joke and have fun. But when it comes to, like, the serious conversations, they're kind of like, no, you know? But SB, you're more than welcome to post the rest of your questions, what I'm doing for you. And then after SB, we have M Wins. And then after M Wins, we have Lala, then Amy, then James. So while SB is working on that, I'm going to go ahead and update the list just so everyone knows where they are. Because I haven't posted that in a while. Okay, so SB says, Amy, do you know what Eli's sign is? I don't know if I've ever asked you that before. Hey, Philomena, welcome in. How are you today? Let me know if you'd like to redeem your reading. SB, when you said he's a Sag, of course I'll have fun. It made me think of that trend that's going on right now where they're like, I'm a Sagittarius, of course, blah, 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 which I thought was kind of funny. I should probably start a series like that for all of the signs. Or they'll be like, I'm the oldest child. Like, of course I'm the responsible one. I'm the youngest. Of course I get away with everything. I know you guys, some of you have to have seen that trend. But it's funny, SB, when you worded that, I played it in my head as I read it to the tune of that, and that made me laugh. Amy, that's nice that you still have contact with him. You're 35, he's 28. I mean, he's pushing 30. Like, I don't think that's a big deal. When you're in your late 20s, early 30s, I think no matter if it's like a 5, 6, 7 year difference, I still think that that's not the worst thing ever. You do grow up a lot in that time frame, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Oh, he's a Taurus, Amy. Okay, that could be why he like is so concerned with like order and like making sure he's doing the right thing. Philomena, you're a Sagittarius. Tell me all of the places that you've been. So SB, I'm getting that he's okay with it. I think for him personally, it might not be a path that he would have chosen for himself. I don't necessarily think he's out here seeking out, single moms per se, but I think that he's good with it. I think his main concern is that I feel like he doesn't mind being like a role model or someone that like guides the child or sets the right example, but I think that he would have concerns on being an authority figure to someone else. I don't think he's necessarily here or feel like he's made to be stepdad material. It's not that he's opposed to it. It's not that he's against it. And it's not that he's going to hold it against you. I think he still would date you and be involved. But I'm not getting like he's father material. I think he'd more like want to be a friend, you know? Like, I think he'd be like the cool uncle, like you know, and give guidance in that way. And so I think that if you're thinking to yourself, that's great, because I'm my child's mom and like I'm totally fine taking on that role, I don't need him to be responsible for that, then I think that it could work. But keep in mind, Sagittarius is like one of the babies of the zodiac and definitely the baby of the fire sign. So they are, I think that they struggle being the one in charge. And so there could be like that you kind of have to work through. They want to have fun, they want to keep things light. I don't feel like he's the type of person that would want to like put his foot down or anything along those lines. He's kind of reminding me, you know, he's reminding me of is like Phil from the Modern Family show. Like he would be a good example and he would be someone to look up to, but he's not necessarily like the disciplinary. Like he more so wants to have fun than be that role. But I think that he would be a caring, compassionate adult in your child's life, and I don't think he would hold it against you or not want to date you or be a part of your life because you are a mom. So I hope that helps answers that question. I think it would be like an adjustment for him. But I don't think that he would like not be with you because of it or not want to be a part of your life or your child's life, because I think that he's good with it either way. Snapchat has zodiac charts? I did not know that. God, I feel so old. When Snapchat was a thing back in like 2018 or something, I like just could not, I didn't understand the hype. Like I never understood it. I didn't get it. It was kind of like TikTok pre-2020. Like I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I definitely think COVID changed the way that we use TikTok. But if you guys remember what TikTok was like in 2019, it was weird. It was just very uncomfortable. There was like, it just, I don't know. It's almost like turning back into that now. I've seen a lot of weird freaking things on there. But Snap, I've never really understood it. But apparently it's like this thing that all the young kids like 23, 24 and under are using. Like no one sends, I've heard, I don't understand it, but no one says text messages anymore. It's like not a thing. Everyone communicates with people their own age through Snapchat. It's like that's become the main form of messaging, which just is, I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe someone else could explain it to me. But so yeah, that all to say, I didn't know that they had a zodiac chart. I didn't know, I don't know. I don't affiliate with Snapchat, so I have no idea. I feel very old when it comes to like that whole thing. So SD, I see you clarified. You want to know, would you be happy in the relationship with him? Okay. Hey, Billy, welcome in. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Oh, it's a new feature. Yeah. Some people are like, oh yeah, like I message them on Snap. I'm like, huh? Why wouldn't you just text them? So I don't get it, but it's a thing. It's probably how my parents felt when I would only like instant message people when I was younger. It's probably like they were probably very confused. Like, why don't you just call them? Would SB be happy in the relationship? So SB, yes. I do think there's a lot of factors that would make you happy in this relationship. Definitely more positive, more pros than cons. There is this like element of, well, here we got some duality going on here, I just noticed. But I think that you kind of teeter back and forth between being a parent and having to parent the person that you're in a relationship with. um you might feel like you're kind of your partner's mom rather than your partner's equal. I do feel like eventually this dynamic will change. I think that once he understands what you expect of him and he gets used to being in a relationship with you, I think he does step up. But I think at the beginning, it might be hard for you because it might be something you have to work through, feeling like you're another person's parent, or you're having to like teach them or show them things that you are like, you should just know how to do this. So it's like you're looking for a partner that's equal to you. But I feel like eventually that evolves. I feel eventually he catches up. And I don't think it's going to be like this lifelong issue that you have. But I think he just has to adjust and accommodate. And you will just have to get used to understanding that you might always be the brains of the operation. You might always have to be the person that's like thinking ahead and pre planning. I don't think it's going to be like you always have to double check on him and things like that. But I do think that at some point you're probably thinking like, is he ever going to be my equal? But I do think that you will. I think part of it is maybe his age, his personality, but I think the other part of it is that you're just a mom and you're a woman and you probably overthink a lot of things. And I think that if he was at your level mentally or even older, I still think that there's certain aspects of your life that you would feel like you do take more of the responsibility on, and that has nothing to do with who he is as a person or his age. You just naturally feel more inclined to be the responsible one. So you kind of teeter back and forth with that a little bit. But again, like I said, this isn't something that lasts forever, but I do think it's something that you guys would have to work through, especially in the beginning, feeling like, you know, you're like, I need my equal. Like I need my person to kind of step up and just get shit done. I shouldn't have to like explain this to you or whatever. But I think that you do give him grace because you do understand that like this is all new to him, just like it's all new to you, and you allow for that time of evolvement to happen. But I think that's really the only thing I can say that maybe you feel somewhat dissatisfied with. So, you know, if you want someone who comes through and you want to start dating someone who's pretty much turnkey ready, like someone who's ready and available and everything that you want, maybe this isn't your person. But I think that you will be happy. And I think that you could potentially have like a well-suited partner for you through this person, so long as you're willing to kind of work through those little hiccups in the beginning. Hey guys, give me a second. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh shoot, my computer's about to die. I gotta charge it. Everything's falling apart. Okay, so SB. So SB, did you donate again by chance? Because I know that you donated 25 originally. And I've already answered a 10 card and 1, 2, 3, 5 cards. So that right there hits that 25 mark. 10, 15, 20, 25. So the last question that you posted in regards to what your friends and family would think, that would be, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that would be an additional $5. Silly Billy, I see that you said that you donated. Spiritual J, I've got you down as well. And High Priestess, hello and welcome in. Shayna, I have your question. I'm gonna update the list in just a second. Oh, SB. Okay, just making sure, because I was like, wait, I feel like I'm missing something. All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for your donations tonight. If you do want to come back, feel free. We can put you back into the rotation. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up, this is where like not having a quote unquote moderator gets a little tricky sometimes. For the most part, I'm down with it, but once all these donations start coming through, it gets kind of crazy. Okay, so M Wins is next. M Wins, if you're here, please check in with me because you are next. Then we have Lala. Then I got Amy back on. Then I have James. Okay, now I need to add Spiritual J. And then after Spiritual J, I need to add Billy. All right, so this is the order that I received the donations. M Wins donated an hour ago. Lala was like 45 minutes ago. Amy was also 45 minutes ago. James was about 30-ish minutes ago. Then after that was Spiritual J about 15 minutes ago. And then Silly Billy shortly after Spiritual J. So I posted the order of the donation. Shayna, yes, you are. I'm combining your names together to give you a new name. Yes, that is you, Shayna. I'm sorry, that was confusing. Hi, Kimberly. Welcome in. Thank you for subscribing. If you would like to ask a yes/no question, you are more than welcome to do that. I'll honor it as a new subscriber here. Just post your yes/no question in the chat and just be patient with me because it's going to take me a minute to get to you. M Wins, if you're here, please check in. Kimberly, that sounds good too. I can add you to the list. If anybody donated, you guys have a couple of options. Number one, simple, you can stick around until it's your turn. If you can't stick around or you have somewhere to be and you are okay with me answering your question while you're not here, you can leave your question with me in the chat and come back. I'll call on you when it's your turn, and if you're not here, I will do your reading. You can check back with your reading later on. If you want to be here and be present when I do your reading, but you also can't wait until your turn, you're more than welcome to pay to skip the line, and we can move you up. It's only $5 to do that. M wins. I see you're here, girl. Thank you so much. I think a lot of messages kind of came through right at the same time, so I missed it at first. Okay, so this is for M, and M is here for a mini reading that says, what is Aquarius's intentions with me? I cut him off and he started texting me again. He gave me hot and cold vibes, but now all of a sudden he's talking about meeting in person. Okay. Thank you guys for checking in with me. Aquarius's intentions with M. What are Aquarius's intentions, please? What are his intentions? What are his intentions? So M wins, couple of things. First of all, he thought that he closed this chapter with you, but something tells me that he misses communicating with you, bonding with you, your connection together. And I think he wants to kind of open that dialogue back up with you. He definitely is attracted to you, Queen of Wands. I think he's wanting to feel that attraction back as well. Page of Pentacles indicates to me that he doesn't have a lot to offer you, but I think that he wants to approach this more, I guess, serious. He's basically trying to come across more interested and more invested in this connection than make you feel like you guys are making progress. So he's going to offer more to you than he did before. So if you feel like before you only talked once a week, he might increase that to talking a couple of days a week or every day. If you guys were dating here and there or hooking up here and there, he might try to offer something more substantial than that. Essentially, I feel like he wants to take things to the next level with you, so he's here to offer you more than before. I'm not necessarily getting that he's here to offer you the world. I don't think he's done a complete 180 flip, but I do feel like he's here to try to show you that he can give you more than he has in the past. I don't know if this is a tactic right now. I'm not really sure what his motivations are as far as what he's going to offer you, but these are his actions, is that he wants to give you more. So I think be observant, pay attention to what it is that he's doing, take things at face value, don't read into things too much, but maybe just see if you are open to this, see what it is he has in mind and go from there. I also feel like with the Judgment card, he wants to bring some type of healing to this connection and maybe possibly get your forgiveness or apologize to you, provide a little bit more clarity to how things ended. Overall, it just feels like he's not satisfied with how things ended between you, and he's looking to have a different ending, or change your impression of him, kind of thing. You're welcome, Em. Have a great day. Hey, Lala, welcome in. So I'm going to throw your question on the screen. You said you wanted to take a peek into the first half of March, and I have you down for an in-depth reading. So if that is still all correct, then I can go ahead and get started for you. Just confirm for me that I have all of that information. Okay, so Lala, you said focus on your relationship with Gideon. So do you want me to do like a energy check-in between the two of you for March? Does that sound like a good way to look into that? Kimberly, I want to give you a shout out. I did get your donation. I will update the list momentarily, okay? All right, thanks, Amy. Yeah, that's fine. I just need to know what to expect from him. He keeps me at arm's length, and it didn't start this way. So I want to see if there's improvements. Oh, okay. I'm seeing that. It's interesting that these two cards came out as I was reading that message, because this talks about giving you a lot of attention and affection, and like basically maybe him coming after you like really hardcore even in the beginning, and then suddenly you kind of feel like more like your friends or acquaintances. Is there improvements? Is there improvement? I definitely see reconciliation. And so what I mean by that is like improvement as far as like you guys spending time together or coming together again. Although it does feel, I don't know, the devil, for some reason when I'm doing readings, and I feel like spirit knows that, is that I always think a physical relationship whenever I see the devil. So I feel like he's going to come back together with you for like a physical relationship. So if that's what you're looking for, then I definitely see improvement there. But there's something that he's keeping back. Like he's holding back or potentially hiding. What is he holding back? I see more communication. So in March, I'm seeing him communicating with you, however it is that you guys communicate, phone or messenger or whatever. And then I see him wanting to schedule plans to get together with you, to see you physically in person. If that's something you guys are already doing, I see it happening more often. But I think a lot of it is with the like hope or intention that you guys might actually hook up as well. I feel like he's not gonna commit to you though, Lala. Like not in a real way, not in like a Kimberly, I got your donation. Thank you. I feel like he's just very cautious and very hesitant to like give to you in a substantial way. Like I don't think that this is the type of person that's going to make you feel wanted, desired, seen, and like basically like maybe your physical body, that's the case, but I feel like he's not sitting here looking to like have your heart and make a commitment to you. I feel like with the World and Ace of Swords clarifying these two cards here, Ten of Swords and Seven of Swords, it makes me feel like something he's not telling you outright, or maybe he isn't being clear enough about, is that his intentions are basically to not further this connection in a committed kind of way, because the World talks about like chapters ending or something coming to an end. And so I feel like the extent at which Gideon is going to like, okay, I feel like he's going to keep coming for you, Lala, and get out of you what you allow him to get out of you. Like that's what it feels like to me. But by doing the bare minimum. The devil here indicates that he's not necessarily in his right mind. He's not doing things that are positive, things that are pure, well-intentioned. It almost seems like he's just going to take what he can. And it's basically at the mercy of what you allow him. Yeah, like that's what it feels like. That's a good way to word it. Like I don't think he's looking for anything serious. But I feel like he's not wanting to tell you that. Like that's the problem, is he's being very indirect about that, because I think that so long as you think that there's still a chance or a hope, then he can still get what he wants. That's the problem here. Yeah, I can pull. Let me pull a couple more cards for you. Hold on. And I'll just clarify this last question for you. All right, let's see. You're welcome. So, Lala, the more that you push him away, the harder he fights. When he feels like he's losing access to you, that's when he decides, oh, I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to make her feel like she's wanted, like our connection is strong. I'm going to make her feel like I didn't just gaslight her, you know? Like he's going to make you feel like you're crazy. He's into this. He wants you. Yeah. So that's more like what he's going to do. Because here, 7 of Wands, staying your ground. He's not going to retreat. He's going to sit here and try to like fight for this and make you feel like, what do you mean? You know, what do you mean you don't want this? Like, I'm here for you. I want you. I want to be with you. Because he's very much in his ego right now. He's defaulted to his ego. So if he feels like he's not wanted or he's being rejected, he has to prove to himself that he is. Therefore, if he tries harder with you and feels like he can get you back or reel you back in, then he feels like he succeeded. He doesn't like that feeling of rejection. Cards don't lie. He doesn't put much effort in, and I'm over it. Lala, honestly, if you're really serious about walking away and you're strong enough to not need closure and you're strong enough to not be really concerned with his reaction either way, my advice to you would be just to ghost him. Just block him, ghost him, just disconnect. And if he, like, for instance, knows where you work or knows where you live, just continue to reject him until he moves on. And if like that's something that you can handle doing, because I know that sometimes it's hard, like when you want to break something off, you kind of want to feel that sense of like communication. Even if you're breaking up with that person, you want to feel like you exhausted all options and you had the conversation. But the thing is that he's just going to keep trying harder. He really needs to feel like you've blocked off all forms of communication. So you have to make that decision for yourself. But I think that if you really are over it and you're like, I honestly don't give two shits about what he has to say, like nothing he can say can change my mind, then I think at that point, just ghost, just fall off the face of the earth. Because if someone feels like they have a hold on you and they want to continue to have a hold on you, they're going to do everything they can to keep you, even though they're currently doing the bare minimum. And that's what made you get to this point in the first place. So yeah, I mean, I think it's up to you what you end up doing. But if you feel done, then you know, take a step back. But that's just my advice. Lala, thank you for your donation. All right. You're welcome, Lala. Okay. Next up, we have Amy. I am going to run to the restroom really quickly, so just give me a few minutes and I'll be back. Hey, Amy. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me take a quick break. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to hold it if I need to get through this list. So, all right. So Amy says, so what goes through Eli's mind when he thinks of me as of right now? Because I still have my sweater there at his place. Wait, hold on. I don't know why my brain didn't process that first question. What goes on through Eli's mind when he thinks of me? Okay, so current thoughts. Okay, let me see if I can get anything new. Amy, I think I'm gonna pull a couple more cards here. Give me 1 second while I do that. I know you got a mini, so that's fine, but I'm just gonna. I'm worried the well is running dry, girl. I know. I think, Amy, part of the problem is that I only have like certain Claire abilities. Like I feel like I'm a really good channeler, and I feel like I've got Claire cognizance down pretty well and Claire sentience down pretty well. But well, first of all, earlier you already kind of asked like what his thoughts and feelings were, so like I feel like I'm kind of tapping into that same energy. But I don't know, I know that you trust me, and I know that like it's easy for you to come to me because you're like, I trust her, I know I like the style of how she reads, but it makes me wonder if maybe you were to go to a reader that was maybe more like clairvoyant. Maybe they could see certain things that I can't see, and maybe give you like different kinds of answers to give you that variety, because different readers tap into certain areas. So I am basically able to know things that I can't explain how I know them, and I'm able to tap into the emotions of other people pretty well, pretty easily. But for instance, like if Eli thinks photographically, for example, maybe it would be a strength of a clairvoyant, which hopefully I'm trying to get my cousin on here because she is a clairvoyant. Maybe she can tap into the mental images that he has in his head if he's more of like a what am I trying to say? Someone who has like a more physical photographic, or more, their senses are more appealed through like images, if that makes sense. So maybe if he's not very in touch with his emotions, it's hard for me to tap into that clairsentiently. Does that make sense? But I'm gonna try to get my cousin on here because maybe she can pick up on details that they may not be my strengths, because I feel like maybe I'm tapping into like I've hit that max. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that's kind of weird. You have the Seven of Swords twice here. And I appreciate that, Amy. I do appreciate your loyalty and you coming back to me. But it always makes me wonder if maybe like we've hit the like ceiling for me as a reader, particularly when it comes to this person doing so many readings back to back. Like I wonder if maybe another reader could pull other different details that maybe I'm not accessing, because I don't think every single human being on this planet is 100% able to tap into all the energies. I think that's why we all have our own strengths. I think that's why we're all different people, and certain readers might tap into certain people a lot better because they're similar in those ways, so it's easier for them to get that information. Not to say that what I'm telling you is going to be different from what someone else is telling you. I think it's all going to be the same, but they might be able to pull specific details that you're wanting to hear that maybe I haven't been able to access. Exactly. And like I would be stronger at certain things than other readers would be. It's just one of those things. But I'm gonna do my best for you. I'm working on it. Okay, Amy, so I also pulled some charms as well. And you're gonna laugh because the very first thing that came up here is a shirt. And then the second thing was perfume bottle. So that's kind of telling me that in a weird way, he might like smell the shampoo like when you're not there. He might even use your shampoo bottle. I'm not really sure. But there's something here about the fragrance or the scent. And then also liking the fact that your items are still at his house. Oh, okay. That's making sense then. You sprayed your perfume on his sweater. Okay, got it. I think when it comes to this stuff too, not that he minds these items being at your house. I think that um it leaves him hopeful that he's going to see you again. And I think honestly that probably is how you feel too, that you're thinking like no matter what, we're going to have to see each other again. It kind of gives you an excuse to see one another because he's thinking to himself at some point, even if we don't have current plans right now, she's going to have to come back for her things. So it like leaves this hope or this wonder of like, when are we going to see each other again? Hey, Rising. Thanks, girl. I'll add you to the list shortly. I feel like he likes knowing that that stuff is there because it just makes him feel like comforted. We have a little heart here that says love. I don't think that he would ask you to leave your stuff there because I'm kind of getting like here with this card, there's some things that he keeps to himself about this. Like, I don't think if you went over there, he'd be like, oh, please leave like something behind. I think he likes the idea that it's there at his house, but I don't think that he would go out of his way to ask you to leave that stuff. But it does make him think of you. Amy, do you have a cat? I don't know why, but cats just keep coming through in your readings for some reason. Does he have a cat? Do you have a cat? Is something related to cats? So cats, especially black ones, and again, you got a cat last time, but it was a different charm. They're here as like protectors, especially against like psychic attacks or the supernatural. And so there could be this level of feeling like maybe like safety, like if you were like your boyfriend's hoodie, how like just is nice and cozy. Like there's nothing like your boyfriend's hoodie because it's like just comfy and cozy. It's you can't really explain it. It's very sentimental. And I think that's how these items are making him feel, is just very like comfy, cozy. He likes having it around. I think you should ask him for one of his hoodies too, and just see what he says. I'm curious if he'd be willing to give you one of his hoodies. Then I think that's a pretty good big deal that speaks to like how he feels about you. Because if he says, "Oh no," or "I don't have any clean," or like I need what I've got, I can't really give the stuff away. Like I feel like any guy who wants you to think of them when they're not around is gonna be willing to give you something of theirs like that. So it's funny because earlier I was thinking about, like I was going to say, I think it was when these cards were coming out, I was going to say like he thinks about the shape of your lips. I don't know why this infinity sign was like making me think like lips for some reason. So he could think about kissing you, or he could really like the shape of your lips. So yeah, Amy, that's gonna be a biggie. If he gives you one of his hoodies, that's gonna be a big moment for y'all in the relationship. But that's pretty much what I'm pulling right now. I think there's a lot of times, to be honest, Amy, that you pass through his mind, but it's like a fleeting thought, you know. Like, I'm sure when he's busy, it's not like he's sitting there thinking about you 24/7. But it's more like oh, I haven't heard from her lately, or I wonder when we're going to talk again, or just like the idea of knowing you, you know, passes through his mind, but it does feel kind of fleeting here and there. He's wary of you wearing them at times. So, Amy, I think for some reason the significance of a hoodie in your connection right now is a big deal. He seems like he's having a hard time like really letting you in and giving you these items to take with you. It's like he likes the comfort that he feels when your items are still around, but I think that he feels like sharing clothing for some reason is a really big deal. So I think honestly, like once that shifts, like if you guys get to a point where he's like, here, yeah, you can take this hoodie. I know this sounds weird, but I feel like that's symbolically saying that he is feeling progress in this relationship. I think that this hoodie thing is symbolizing his inability to open up to you right now. See what he says. James, if you're here, please check in with me. We're about to work on your reading now. Amy, anything can change from here until this weekend. It is still very early in the week, but I'm not picking up on anything for this weekend. You're welcome. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it, for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna do a last call on the channel. On the channel on this live stream. I have a couple more readings to get through, but I'm gonna keep the list open for just a few. And if you want to get any last minute donations in, feel free to do that. As of right now, we have James. Well, we have James, Shayna, Jay is next after that, then Silly Billy, then Kimberly, then Rising. James, thank you for checking in. That sounds good, Amy. Okay. So James, I have you. Whoa. What just happened? That, guys, ignore that really weird message that just came through. That was like a double list for some reason. All right. So James, Shayna, Jay, Silly Billy, Kimberly, Rising. I believe that is correct. Perfect. Okay. All right, this is for James. Rising, I was actually thinking about you today. I was thinking about how I felt like I hadn't seen you in a while. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to like get the glare off of the cards a little bit. All right, so James, I just want to clear up a couple of things. First, that's coming through is that Patty is not currently interested in anyone else at this time. I know that we asked questions last time in regards to like an ex that's been around her lately, and I'm getting that she's being very cautious about the situation with this person. Like I said, I think it's brought up some unresolved feelings, but I feel like she's bit guarded when it comes to this person, and she's trying to kind of maybe keep him at a distance or keep this person at a distance. Then I specifically asked like if she's entertaining anyone else at the moment, and I am getting a no. That doesn't mean that I don't think that she's keeping you at a distance as well, but it's for a different reason. I think that she's having a very hard time like considering whether or not she's ready for a relationship. So, um I feel like she wants to keep you around. Um, I feel like she is open to the idea of something like that with you, but she's resisting you. She's resisting a lot of your efforts, and I think it's because she is number one, maybe just in like her own mind, a little bit like I don't know if I'm ready for something like this. But also, I think that it's easier for her to push people away than to let them in. And so she's giving to the connection is that she's on the fence. I don't feel like you feel like you've gotten any closer to her recently than maybe a couple of weeks ago. Um, I don't know. The thing is that I don't think that she's trying to I don't think her intentions are to offend you or like make you mad or make you upset at her. I think that she just sometimes maybe when she feels like she's not in control or she feels like things are kind of happening a little bit too quickly, she just defaults to like a coping mechanism, which can come across very off-putting for her. It can be, you can see part of her personality that maybe you don't find very appealing or attractive, and just very like caught off guard, and like it's just not an attractive quality that she has at times. But it's definitely the unhealed version of her that comes out when you start to feel that resistance from her. And I feel like right now she's showing the connection that she's more closed off than anything at this time. Her thoughts are swirling all around her, and she feels a little bit out of control. I think that she's doesn't really understand, like she has a conscience obviously, but I feel like she doesn't really understand what she wants or what she's looking for. I think there's plenty of times in her life currently that she thinks she's better off on her own doing her own thing, and then other times she does long for like her person, her partner. And I think that she's just trying to figure out what it is that she's looking for. And I think that she's worried that she's going to push you away. And I got this message, I think it was yesterday. She's worried that she's going to push you away, but she literally can't help herself. She gets in these moods, and she's like using this as a way to find out if you're serious about her. Like, are you going to stick around even when she's ugly, even when she's being a nasty person? Are you going to stick around? And even then, even if you show her everything that she deserves and you tell her that she deserves if she doesn't believe it, she questions your intentions, it might be very hard for her to trust you right now as well. I feel like your opinion of her matters a lot more than she lets on. I think that she cares a lot about what you think of her, and she doesn't like that she relies on that external validation, but she does. um I think that she just has this like fighter survivor spirit about her, and she wants to let someone in deep down. But I just almost am seeing like, like a child that goes through like foster care, where they are just broken over and over and over again. They're let down, they're disappointed, the system has failed them, and then they finally find like a loving family that has pure intentions for them and only wants the best for them. But they are like feral, they're so used to people disappointing them. And it's like this unhealed child that's like having a hard time accepting that there's good things out there in the world for them. Exactly. And that's definitely what I'm getting, is that it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time too, in addition to for her to trust someone who's genuine, but also for her to trust herself. Because I think one of the biggest messages that I'm getting is that she doesn't know if she can trust her own intuition. Like, because she feels like she's used that as a guidance system before and she was wrong. And she's not even sure if she can trust herself, let alone someone else. She's like, can I trust that what I'm feeling is actually what I'm feeling? Is this real? Is this, my nervous system being dysregulated? Are these actual good feelings? Like, if she gets butterflies, it freaks her out because she's like, this is not normal. I'm not used to feeling this way. Is this a red flag alert, or is this a good feeling? I think that she really has to be able to trust herself in being able to read people. She needs to trust that she has good intuition, that she can rely on her own self to make decisions. So for me, I just need to continue to show up how I've been, as genuine as possible. If you want her to eventually trust you and you want her to eventually let her guard down, that is the advice here. Now, as a reader who has your best interest at heart, just know this is a long road and you can't be everything for someone and then neglect yourself at the same time. So when you start to feel like you're putting someone else first for too long, you also have to keep in mind like what you need to do. So long as you feel that this is high vibe, loving energy, consistency, showing up, being genuine, and that feels right to you, then yes, I think that's something you should do. But when you start to feel like you're neglecting your own like health, mental health, emotional state, things like that, that's when you might need to pull back, because you also have to take care of yourself too. But if you're wanting to like break her down, then yeah. It's kind of like, like an animal in the wild who they're just been in survivor mode for too long. Someone's trying to give them some food and some water, and they're growling and hissing and attacking and scratching, and they can't trust you. But over time, compassion, love, care, consistency, eventually they realize, okay, maybe not all people are bad. Maybe I can trust this person. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. What would you like to ask for your mini reading? I just feel like almost she has a hard time judging situations. She doesn't trust herself to be like a good judge of character, because she feels like every time she thought something about someone, they flipped the script on her, and so she has a hard time wondering what other people's intentions are. Are they just trying to get something out of her? And if you think about it, what I'm saying to you probably is resonating, because what is she always doing with you? She's always questioning why you're doing nice things for her. She feels like there always has to be a reason. There's always a motive. Amy, I wish that I could do that because I want to have so much fun with this channel. But unfortunately, the way that I feel like I don't have a lot of time as it is, like if my time frees up, maybe. But I feel like I have this never ending to-do list that it's hard for me to get on and just not turn a profit or not be productive in some way. So maybe I can get back to that at some point, but the way that my life is at this time, it's not conducive to my priorities, unfortunately. But I would love to. I think that would be fun. Thanks, James. Okay, we're shuffling for your mini reading. And James, go ahead and add to your reading if you want to, but I am going to go ahead and close the list. Anyone that's currently on the donation list is welcome to add to their readings. But everyone else that's coming in after that is going to have to wait until next time that I'm live. She questioned me why am I asking why she had to go to her shop when she told me she had to go to her shop last night. Like, I'm trying to catch her in a gotcha moment. I'm just trying to talk. That's the other thing too, James, is like if she feels like you're trying to like trap her and catch her in a lie, maybe she feels like she owes you more. Maybe she's feeling guilty about the fact that she's not giving more to you. Because if she really didn't think that she was doing something wrong, she wouldn't be so defensive. And I'm wondering if maybe she feels stronger about you than what she's letting on. Because if you guys, let's just say you guys were platonic friends and you were asking these questions, would she be as defensive? No, she wouldn't be. She's curious what your motive is here. She's trying to understand, and to some extent, she probably feels defensive and maybe somewhat guilty for how she's treating you in this relationship. So therefore, she's reacting in a defensive manner to turn and flip the script. It's crazy. Thanks, Amy, for worrying about me. Shayna, yes, go ahead and drop your new question. I will unsave the one that you posted earlier. Yeah, Amy, I'll be back multiple times this week. Shayna, I have your new question. Yeah, exactly. For some reason, she wants to have this poker face, but I catch her. Like recently, I told her I went to this networking event at the Moon Goddess Studio, like a holistic event. Silly Billy, what's your question? Yeah, Amy, I think let's give it a couple of days before we try to do a channeling. I'd love to see the energy shift a little bit more before we do that. And she accused me of trying to meet girls there, and then I asked her why she's acting being jealous. She turned it around and said I'm basic, and she said you're basic and they're all basic. Yeah, there's definitely more to her feelings than she's letting on, James. Yeah, Amy, I think that's fine. I want to know how my training will go over time will my supervisor's manager's boss be happy with my performance? Okay, so let's see. That was Silly Billy. Silly Billy, okay. I will save your question for you. Remember, everyone, I'm going to call you when it's your turn, and then if you're not here, I'll still do your reading. Silly Billy, I have your question, so if you want to hang around, feel free. But if not, I will do your reading. You can come back. James, yeah, totally. Amy, yeah, either that or we pick up new info about how Eli talked about his abandonment issue. Okay. All right. How is Patty feeling after they spoke last night? All right, how is she feeling after they spoke last night? How is she feeling after they spoke last night? So, James, I'm kind of getting that she's doing a full-time effort of trying to find something wrong here in your relationship. I know that she doesn't deep down think that there's anything wrong, but I think that she's really trying hard to figure out what she's looking for a reason to back out. Okay? She's not finding one. I want to be clear. I think that any question or worry or concern that you have, or that she has, that she confronts you with, you are always very like patient with her, and you're like, this is not what you think it is. It seems like you always bring her peace of mind. But it seems like she's always on this like place of like trying to find something wrong, because I think she's very worried, very, very worried about letting you in. I think the part that scares her the most is the fact that she has very strong feelings for you, but she's sitting here trying to find a way to bring this whole thing down. The problem is that she doesn't want to believe it. Do you know how many times, if she questions you, the answers that you provide bring her such peace? She feels so much better. Like when you talk to her, she feels so much better getting her questions answered. She's very transparent. I can tell that I know that you know that, because like you said, you catch her in like the poker face, because it's very transparent what it is that she's doing. Almost like you probably chuckle to yourself and like shake your head like, I know what she's doing. She's acting all tough and strong and acting like she's unbothered here, but clearly you can read between the lines. But after she communicates with you, she feels like her questions are answered. She doesn't feel like she's constantly wondering about this and wondering about that. She probably feels closer to you. So just know that after you guys communicate, she feels better. She does. Even if she doesn't act like it, even if she doesn't show that she's feeling relieved, she's trying as hard as she can to catch you in a lie or catch you in a situation. But every time that you're just like, oh, it was just this, or oh, it was just that, or yeah, like if you have a question about it, I'll answer it. She feels like so good and so at peace. And so I feel like even if it seems like the conversation is not going well, or it's maybe confusing you how she's reacting, she's still feeling better if her questions are getting answered, because she worries a lot. I think she gets in her head. And with the Seven of Cups in reverse, it makes me feel like her questions have been answered. Her thoughts have been silenced for a little while. We also have the Two of Cups, which indicates that she does feel closer to you. She acts like the Queen of Swords, funny enough. Queen of Swords, what is that? Cold, blunt, distant, acting like they don't care, very defensive, very on guard, ready to like chop anyone's head off. Like but just know, James, a tell when it comes to Patty is the more upset she is, the more she wants you to tell her that you care. Okay? So, and I think eventually that will stop, but I think right now, the more she tries to act cool and is just like, yeah, whatever, and is like defensive with you, the more her feelings are getting invested. So do with that what you will. But I do feel like after you guys spoke, I feel like she was feeling some type of relief because maybe certain things were brought to light in some capacity. James, did you plan on donating again, or are we going to be wrapped up here after this? Let me know. Oh, you did? Oh, I didn't get a notification. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm checking now. Oh yeah, I did get it. Like 10 minutes ago. Why didn't I get a notification? That's weird. Okay. Let's look into this. Oh, ignore the night bot. Sorry, guys. I'm a mess tonight, y'all. Bear with me, I'm sorry. How will the event together go for James and Patty? How will the event together go? I keep getting that y'all are busy. Like the event goes really well, but I feel like you guys are just doing your thing, you know? But everything seems to be in flow. The one thing that's drawing my attention here is the Seven of Swords. That's making me feel like you guys are being a little bit more open with each other, a little more transparent, maybe. I feel like it's possible that she's not keeping as much from you as maybe she did. Maybe she's not as locked up as she usually is. So it does make me feel like that's good, because maybe you guys can be brought closer in some way. Because the Seven of Swords talks about how you're kind of like wearing a mask, or you're pretending to be something or someone you're not. You're really trying to like not show someone what you're thinking or how you're really feeling. And then next to that we have the Justice, which talks about truth. So maybe some things will get brought to light. Maybe you guys will get a chance to talk about things that make you feel a little bit better about the connection, or make you feel like you guys are maybe a little bit more on the same page than what you probably have been feeling. Did you have a follow-up question to that? I feel like challenges, a little bit of like challenges that you guys have been facing are being overcome, which is nice to see. Okay, perfect. You're like, we're not gonna push it, because I like the sound of that. Okay, good. All right, so thank you, James. Thank you. I don't know why I never thought to do this with her, but I gave her distance Reiki before, and I feel so good about everything with her, even myself. Any anxiety I'm feeling is gone. James, I love that. That's powerful. I'm happy. You actually have been, I feel like almost like you're rising above the reality of what's going on right now. You have, even though like it's not, basically like you're kind of saying it's not what it looks like. Like even though if I were to take things at face value right now, you probably would be feeling that anxiety, but it's almost like you're rising above that and having faith instead. And I feel like that's such a high vibrational place to be in mentally and emotionally. And doing the energetic healing, I'm sure, is just adding another level of like maybe inner peace, that it's all going to work out. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's what I have to do for this to work. If I'm in fear of the connection or questioning it, I'm gonna block. But I came here to check my progress of how I'm doing. Oh, I love that. I wish I could pin that comment. I wish everybody did that. Because when you live in fear of the connection or questioning it, you are going to block the connection. That's beautiful. Thanks, James. All right, Rising. Thank you for the pay to skip, girl. I don't know how I missed it. I was scrolling back in the chat and I realized that you're not too far behind. I think James was the only person that I did a reading for since you donated. So I don't think that you're too far behind. You jumped the list. And I'm sorry though. I don't know why I just didn't see it at first. Okay. So I have your questions on PayPal. So I'm looking at those now. If Kimberly is here and wants to leave the question with me, feel free to do that. If you're going to stick around till your turn, that works too. Just a reminder that the list is closed. If you donated and you want to add to your reading, you can definitely do that. After Rising, we have Shayna J, then Silly Billy, who I have both of their questions, and then Kimberly after that, and then I'll be ending the live stream. Okay, so Rising. So I think that at first, initially, he didn't notice. Maybe because it's more of like an energetic distancing, if that makes sense. So I feel like it might have taken a while to take into effect. And I think that eventually he did start to notice a little bit, but it was more like a curiosity of like, what are you up to? Are you busy? Like, are you working a lot? Like, I think that it just turned into almost like a curiosity of why things feel different or why there feels like there's a shift. I think that he's curious about what you're up to and thinking to himself, like, hopefully she's doing well. I think throughout all of this, he's never had negative feelings towards you, and to some extent he wishes you well. He hopes that you're doing well and things are becoming easier for you. As far as how this is affecting him personally, I don't think he's crazy about the idea. I think there was always this level of excitement when he felt like you were giving him attention. I think it was like a form of flattery. It was a form of maybe even sexual tension for him. There was just something exciting about feeling like you wanted him or you were interested in him and who he was. And so I do feel like it is affecting him in that way because he's not feeling that so much anymore. I think he's wondering, like, are you guys just better off as friends? Are you better off as nothing? He's curious, like, where do you guys stand? But he definitely, either way, is feeling that disconnect here. He feels like you have no longer any interest in him. Now, whether or not that's true for you, that's how he's seeing things from the outside. Now, I thought there was more to that message, but now I'm like, okay, so I feel like he thinks that there's almost something kind of final about how he's feeling. Like before, I think he was feeling you guys are in some type of like limbo, you know, will they, won't they, that kind of thing. But I think at this point he's feeling like the nails in the coffin. Like it's pretty dead at this point. That doesn't mean that he's not curious about you. That doesn't mean that he likes or is okay with this. But I feel like he is coming to terms with things a little bit. Maybe he missed his chance. Girl, I haven't seen you post anything. I'll have to go back if it's still there. He might even be like talking about you too to people as well, or showing people the post, because my ear is getting a little hot, and usually that means that people, like, you know, there's like that folklore of if your ears are hot, then someone's talking about you. Oh, dang it. You deleted it? That's okay.
See?
He's blinking. Maybe not the shaking. I don't know if he likes the shaking. Maybe that, yeah. Look at him. He's coming back for more. I kept getting the 5 of Cups energy, but at the moment, sure, it's cleared up now. Oh, you screenshot it? All right, so I wanted to confirm if he was watching and noticing you today, and I did get a yes. I got the 4 of Wands. And then, like, what was he thinking? Like, the specific message that came to mind is, I fucked up. Like, I done fucked up. I feel like he realizes that you guys might be, or from what he feels, at a point of no return, that he's going to be stuck in this place of being like out of your life. He feels with, I don't know, the five of cups may be the kind of feeling that I'm getting here. Because I see the Five of Pentacles in the Tower as like the fact that he destroyed this. Like he's at fault. Oh wow, heartbreak. So he's hurting. Not in the sense of like you guys were in a relationship and you broke up hurting, but more like he always leaned in on and loved the fact of this. Is something ever going to happen here? He liked that feeling of knowing that there was always this potential, or feeling like there was this potential, and something from his perspective feels like he's completely lost his chance here, and that he knows it's his fault. He feels 100% to blame. So I'm very curious what it is you said. Because I think that he's saying like there's no going back now. Like that expression in the last reading I was doing was like the nail in the coffin. I think he's licking his wounds a bit. I think he's focusing a lot more on, you know, he just feels like this has fallen away from him. This chance with you one day, or this opportunity with you at some point, is no longer within his reach. The specific image I'm getting is like, you know, when someone falls into the water, like into like an ocean on like a TV show or a movie, and there's like falling deeper and deeper and deeper into the water, and they can see like the boat in the sunlight, but the further they get sinking into the water, the darker it gets and the less that they can see, and the further away hope. Stop singing. My husband's just over here singing based on what I'm saying right now. Such a freak. But yeah, it just seems like his hope for the success of this connection, it just seems like it's falling further and further away from him. You okay?
Yeah, I almost broke my foot.
Huh?
I almost broke my foot.
Hey Shayna, welcome in. If you've been here the whole time, hello. Rising, please send me a screenshot. I'm curious. I'll respond to you as soon as I can. Thank you, Rising. Thank you for your donations tonight. All right, this is for Shayna J. You're welcome, Rising. Okay, it looks like I got it. So once the live stream's over, I'll take a look. Shayna J. March. I think you're learning something new. I'm just seeing here with like all the books over here on the High Priestess is that you're acquiring some type of new skill, learning something, studying something. At the very least, I feel like you're I don't know, if you're a reader, this might make sense to you, but maybe doing a lot more reading in the month of March. But I think that it can also be like that you're acquiring some new information or you're trying to understand something better. There's just like this element of being a student or absorbing more information or knowledge next month. Potentially could be that you're going through some type of training, but I feel like that's a very distant explanation of this card right now. It very well, I could take this very literally. You could be digging into more of like a spiritual understanding of something, maybe other tools of divination, maybe learning other ways to get insight on a spiritual level. So you could be learning birth charts or using runes or using some type of tool of divination that you've never used before, or trying to learn something along those lines, or maybe master something. But something just feels like in March you are learning, gaining knowledge, and becoming more skilled at something important to you. The Magician here in the center of the reading does feel very magical, like you're gonna be able to make things happen very quickly and easily for you next month. And this could have come after a time of maybe feeling like things aren't really working, or things haven't really been, nothing big has happened to you. Maybe you're looking for a big break, or you're looking for after a time of struggle, something really significant to come your way, something big that might be life-changing. I feel like some things are starting to shift for you in the month of March. First card out here with the Page of Pentacles, this indicates that you are feeling some sense of direction, and some offer or opportunity might be making its way to you. Maybe you're a little bit on the fence about it. You're not quite sure if it's something that's for you, but it's giving you more hope or more faith in the different potential future that you have. This does feel more like career financial based. Not getting a lot on like love, but it doesn't mean that can't resonate for you next month. Like if you go through the month and you come back to this, maybe what I'm talking about resonates because of love, but it's not necessarily, I'm getting more like career focused, or even like a hobby or some type of skill that you're doing, some type of craft, if that makes sense. And I see that you're feeling very inspired about this thing. The Page of Wands is like excited to try something new, not afraid to be their own person, be unique, stand out, be a little weird. You're not scared to be seen next month. Maybe you're feeling more confident. You're marching to the beat of your own drum, and it's making people feel more drawn to you because you're more aligned with who you are, essentially. So I feel like March overall, there feels like a positive shift forward. Maybe after a time that you've been feeling like things aren't working out for you, or you're feeling like you've been working really hard on something, and maybe next month it feels like things start to become a little bit easier for you once you get your rhythm down. Let me know if you have any questions about that. You're welcome, Shayna. Good. You said you've been more career focused lately. Okay, good. That makes me happy to hear that I was resonating for you. Okay, so next up we have Silly Billy, who just checked in with me. Hey, Kimberly. Good. I just want to make sure that you are still around. If you want to post your question, feel free to do that, because you're next after Silly Billy. If you want to wait, that's cool too. I just want to make sure that you were still around. Okay, good. Silly Billy, I was reading your question very matter of factly. I wasn't reading into it at all. I actually, now that you brought it up, I completely forgot that that was a previous question of yours. So don't worry, I wasn't thinking that way. Okay. So overall, as far as training goes, I think you're gonna like it. Is it gonna be easy? Not necessarily, but I feel like it's gonna be extremely rewarding and fulfilling for you to feel like you're working towards some type of goal. Every single day, at the end of the day, you feel successful. You feel like there's something to celebrate. You might feel like you are surprising yourself as well. And maybe getting some type of like strength, mental toughness. Maybe you just feel very proud of yourself at the end of the day. But I feel like the days go well, and at night there's something really there for you to celebrate. As far as will they be happy with your performance and work during the training, I am getting a yes. I feel like they are not going to want to play favorites. Temperance here shows that they're not going to vocalize this to you or necessarily single you out during this process, but you can rest assured that they are going to be happy with your performance and what it is that you're doing. Especially here with the Ten of Pentacles at the end of the reading, it indicates like this success that's going to set you up for the future, and they see in you like promise. Again, I don't think they're necessarily going to single you out. And if they do, it's not something that happens very often, I think, because they don't want to necessarily look like they're playing favorites. But I do feel like they're keeping their eye on you, and I do think that communicating with one another, they would say that you're someone to watch. You know, like they you know how like certain people, they say, oh, they've got something, you know, they've got a little something extra, or they have that it quality or star quality or something on those lines. Is like sometimes you come across someone who just like has a little something more, and I feel like that's probably what they're thinking to themselves, is that you're someone to watch. Good, I'm glad. Yep, so that is what I've got for you, Billy. Thank you so much for your patience. I know you were waiting a while for your turn. A long time. Hopefully it wasn't boring to you to do that. What's your question? Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, sorry. I didn't know you were going to donate again. That's okay. Go ahead. Kimberly, I got your question. Kimberly, I have a question for you in regards to the in-depth love reading. You want the love spread, right? You want the love spread that I have advertised in the description? Or do you want just like a freestyle where I just whatever information I get, I tell you? All right, Kimberly, we'll do that, and I'll just ask and we'll see what comes through for you. Thank you for answering my question. All right, so Billy says, I'm still grieving about Jacinta. I'm not entirely removed from her. It's still haunting me. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I've been through my fair share of breakups, and while every relationship is different, the heart still hurts the same. I just want to know what's the aftermath once I do focus on this new journey and all. Is she still having thoughts of me or wanting anything out of me? Okay. All right. So, Billy, where did you make your donation to for the follow-up question? Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle for you now. Okay, I just got it. Bless you, babe. All right. So, as I was shuffling, the message that I felt like I was being divinely given was that you guys are kind of frozen in time. And I think that's why it's kind of hard for you to move on, because I feel like there's not really been the closure that you've needed. And I feel like this has in big part to do with Jacinta specifically. Um, I feel like you put your heart and soul into this person and into the hope for what your future could look like. And um, I think that this person was just very restrictive, wouldn't allow you to express the full potential of your feelings. And as far as like what's the aftermath, I have the Two of Wands in reverse, which indicates a lack of activity, a lack of action. Jacinta's very much like scared to do anything different. She's likes her comfort zone. She's very indecisive. And there's nothing really here that you can do to change her mind. Now, that doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't still bother her or that she's not still having thoughts of you, because I do feel like she thinks of you as a potential partner for her. I just feel like her inability to make decisions that benefit you guys mutually, her maybe making the wrong decisions even, is causing this block for you two that I don't know if I necessarily see you guys coming out of. I feel like this is the hard part about doing readings with when you're talking about feelings and then you're talking about actions, because just because someone feels a certain way doesn't mean they're going to act on it. And that's where I'm trying to like decipher between both of these things. because you can want something and feel something, but you won't necessarily do anything about it. And that's the complexities that we have existing as human beings on this planet. I definitely did work hard, no doubt, to work on the connection. And it takes two, it takes two people. There's a reason why that's a like common phrase, it takes two, because you can't give all of yourself and like expect it to work. One person can't be holding off on, someone has to also meet them there. So I think that she'll always have a space for you. I think she'll always hope one day she won't be as complicated. Although I don't think that there's anything you can really do or say to change her mind, at least with the energy that I'm tapping into right now. I don't want ill of people in general. I just feel like she needs to face consequences. Yeah. Do you believe in karma though? Because I do. And I feel like maybe we're not the karma, but like you might not be able to be the one that serves her the karma, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just consider me a podcast, Amy. Silly Billy, I think I missed something. Do you think she's just being nonchalant, or do you think she's going to feel the guilt and remorse for her actions? Honestly, I think she's being nonchalant just from what it felt like reading. Again, though, asking if she's going to feel guilty at some point or remorse. I'm personally going to say no. But again, that's not the question that I asked. So I don't want you to 100% go on that because I don't know for sure, but it just feels like I feel like she just doesn't hold herself accountable right now. And I feel like she's a bit a bit prideful. Kimberly, I am shuffling for you now. Silly Billy, I definitely agree. It sucks. It's not easy either to just accept that that's life. It is true, but I feel like everyone in their life feels like they've been wronged by someone in some way. Some worse than others, but I feel like we don't always get to see things play out. We don't get to see someone getting their consequence, you know. When someone does something really awful, it's I hate to say it, but it's a part of life. Like we all each individually feel like there's been people in our life that have done us wrong or screwed us over, and we never get closure from that. And it's a shitty part of life. It sucks. But it is facts that that's just what happens. And I hope for your sake that you do get that. But I wouldn't sit here and count on that. And holding on to that anger and that frustration is poisoning you too. Right, in-depth love between Liam and Kimberly. Ooh. Okay, Kimberly. So I'm getting that Liam wants something more substantial here. I feel like they don't. It's not that they're against where you guys are in your relation in terms of your relationship or your dynamic, like whatever that is. It's not that they're dissatisfied with that. I just think that they want more. I think that they want to change to get you guys to like a new level or a new place. Lots of 9 of Cups here. So I feel like they're feeling very lucky to have you around. They're hoping that you enjoy them around. Wow. 2 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. So it's making me feel like you guys are kind of like a wish come true to each other and wondering like when you're going to be able to explore matters. But I feel like, again, it's not that they're dissatisfied with what you are to each other. It's just that they're wanting more from this. They're wishing that they had more from this. Oh, your colleagues. Okay. So I feel like that would mean that they're wanting to date you. I feel like that would mean that they're wanting to connect with you more outside of your work. Now I do think that Liam might be a little bit. That's so weird. I just got like the taste for like chicken and rice soup or like chicken noodle soup. That's really weird. I don't know why that happens to me sometimes. I feel like Liam is nervous though. Liam is nervous to take things to the next level. I think that they're not wanting to be let down. I think there's this fantasy that he has or something of your connection, and I think he's hoping that if that becomes a reality, that it's the way that he imagined and that he doesn't get let down and he doesn't like falsify what could be potentially between you guys. Like he's like, he wants to take things to the next level, okay, but it makes him nervous because he has this like idea of what it's going to be like to be together, and maybe potentially a expectation that he hopes comes true, and doesn't want that to not be the case. I'm trying to think of the words. It's hard for me to translate this message. He basically, he doesn't want to get his hopes up. Thank you. He doesn't want to get his hopes up and it turned out to be not what he thought it was going to be. Amy, I'm so hungry too. So it's like there's this excitement, it's titillizing, it's energizing, it's feels like a crush, it feels like something could develop more, and I feel like he really likes this place with you, of the unknown, but I think he is nervous to take things to the next level, even though in his heart that's what he wants to do. I think that he really feels lucky to know you. I think that he hopes you feel lucky to know him. He has a lot of fun with you. The sun is here, which talks about like the joy that you bring to his life, and like maybe if you guys joke around, if there's like a lot of laugh, giggles, smiles, things like that, that's playing a huge factor here, is that you are very warm and inviting, or maybe that this connection feels very comfortable, even if it feels like you guys haven't really tapped into the full potential. So far, what you've been able to experience feels good. It feels right. Oh, that's so sweet. This is such like a cute, like it almost feels very innocent. I'm sure at some point it might not be. It might be definitely more like passionate, but right now it feels very like innocent, you know, early days and like when you're crushing on each other. Thank you, Kimberly. Yes, definitely crush vibes. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. It's been almost 4 hours and your girl is hungry. I'm sorry, Amy. It's been like if it was only like an hour and a half or something, I would stick around for you. I'm tired. It's crazy how like a 4-hour live stream can feel like an 8-hour workday. You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed your reading with me, and we see you again here soon. Thanks, Amy. Hey, Faye, welcome in. Our stream is about to be over, but make sure you come back next time so you can claim your free reading, okay? All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Everyone that's still here, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you next time. You're welcome, Faye. All right, bye, guys. Adios.